Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I've almost lost my voice. It is currently 2:44 a.m. on this beautiful Monday evening going into Tuesday. It is currently 68 degrees outside. And it feels a little spooky outside. A little fallish, maybe a little Halloweenish. I've been looking at a bunch of Halloween stuff online today, so that's probably why I'm in a Halloweeny kind of mood. Oh my god, I just woke up. I laid down at I laid down and then Alex was finishing up a show and he came up right after I did. So I laid down at like 11 and he came up at like 11:15. So I slept from like 11:30 until 2:30. I'm actually kind of like wide awake right now. Just got a Diet Coke. I was having the most bizarre dreams. I don't know what is going on with my dreams lately. But I am not being able to shake my dreams when I wake up. And I'm like thinking about them throughout the day. Almost like I'm being sent a message or something. It's so weird. I don't even really know how to explain it, because I don't necessarily believe in that kind of stuff. But I was having this dream about this guy that I was like briefly friends with, like for a very short period of time. I was like trying to figure out when it would have been, and I think it would have been like 6th grade, maybe. I was in this acting class. Well, I think that he and I don't even remember how we became friends. Like, I have no clue. And, like, I really honestly do not remember how he and I became friends at all. And it was like a very short-lived friendship, because I just was never friends with people for very long. And it was interesting, because he was always somebody that was, like, never mean to me later on, but just didn't interact with me. Like, just was, like, if I saw him in the hall, he might say hi, kind of deal, you know? But we were in this acting class together. I don't remember if we, like, I don't really honestly remember any of it. What was I thinking today? I was thinking about something earlier today, and I was like, oh no, it was last night in my vlog when I was talking about Alex and I going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and not remembering anything from that, like, weekend trip. I just think that's so crazy that, like, I don't remember anything from that trip. I remember stopping at that McDonald's. I've actually told that story quite a few times. So I remember that, and I remember Alex being like, I thought we were going to Nashville, Indiana. I remember that conversation, like, in the car, but I don't remember, like, I know that we probably got I'm assuming we got a cabin. I don't remember what the cabin looked like. I remember telling Tanya later that Alex was so over it because there was, like, no phone service, like, up in the mountains. And where we stayed, this is kind of how I typically, like, if I'm trying to remember something, I kind of, like, unravel the memory a little bit, you know? But I remember him being upset because we didn't have any cell service. Yeah, but I don't remember it. We went to Gatlinburg another time. We did a couples trip with a bunch of people that Alex worked with at the time, a bunch of these women and their husbands, and there was like, four or five couples total. I think it was 4 couples total. But anyway, maybe more, I don't know. One of the couples was the same couple that we went to the wedding with in Dallas. Oh, and then one of the women was who got married in Dallas, but she's with somebody else now. So, that was 2 of them. And then us. And then another couple that lives here that we're friends with. So anyway, I don't remember going to get, but I do remember that trip, and I can see in my head the cabin that we got, and I remember there was this little dog that was like running around, and nobody knew like who this dog belonged to. Oh my God, you know what? I brought this camera with this silly battery in it, and I was like, I think this battery is charged, because I had like put the other 2 batteries in the chargers, and it's flashing red at me right now. So let me pull in here. I think I only brought one of the other batteries because I was pretty sure that this battery was charged. I can't believe it. Well, if I end up getting to really want to tell some stories tonight, I'll have to go home and get another battery. But I'll just kind of like, I'll just kind of do loops. I'll go out here and then come back, out here and then come back, out here and come back, so that I'm not too far away from the house in case my next battery dies. But this battery is charged. I just pulled it off the charger, so it shouldn't be too bad. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I remember that this dog was like some kind of terrier, and he was like walking all like like with a purpose. And my friend is so hilarious, this couple that we're friends with, and he started doing, I can't remember, well, they didn't go to the wedding last year because they have like 4 kids now, and back on this trip they had no kids. But he named this dog Skippy Don Johnson, and he did this like English accent, and like, so whenever the dog would like walk, he'd be like, my name is I can't do it, but he would be like, my name is Skippy Don Johnson. I don't even know how he came up with that name, but anyway, and I was really, really excited for this trip to Gatlinburg. I do remember this. I was really excited for this trip to Gatlinburg. And I think it was 4 couples, because we drove down with another couple, and then I think the other 2 couples drove down like in a car, and we were driving next to each other. So, I love Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I love everything about it. It's very, you know, and I love that it's homey, and you can make a dinner, or you can go out to dinner and all this kind of stuff. And I remember I was so excited about this trip. And the first night, we like made some dinner there. I can't remember what we did. Like, I think we made like pasta or pizzas or something. It was real chill. And everybody got incredibly intoxicated, except for me, obviously, because I don't drink. And Alex didn't really get intoxicated. He didn't really drink a whole lot because it was me with all these people. I think I had asked him before we went into it. I think I'd said, okay, here's my deal. Like, I'll go, but like, you can't like drink a lot if we like go to this thing, because I don't want to be the only one. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And that's part of the story later, because, well, it wasn't really the girls, but the girls like sat around and they were watching movies and stuff, and just standing in the kitchen, and they were like drinking a lot, and then getting in the hot tub and stuff like that. There was like 2 guys on the trip that got like belligerently drunk, and when we showed up there, there was like, I wouldn't say like a fight for the rooms with the women, but like, I remember one of the women was like, oh, well, we're gonna do this room, and it was like the best room on the top, and then another one was like, oh, well, like, I'll take this one and then you take that one. Well, that left Alex and I this room in the basement, which was like literally in the basement, and it was like a double bed, no TV or anything, I don't think, in this room. It just was like this room, and it was right next to like this rec room in the basement, and then right across from like, we had like one of those theater rooms in the basement where you could all like sit around and watch, you know, like a big movie on a screen and stuff. And I was real excited about that because my innocent, sober self, I was like, oh, we're gonna all watch like a big movie on the big movie screen. I mean, it was like a movie screen, you know. I was really excited about it. I'd always wanted to get one of those little rooms in a cabin before. And so the girls go to bed at some point, and it's this one guy who is our friend that got married. It was her ex. He like passed out in that what do you call it, projector room or whatever, that movie screen room. And the other two guys were like trying to get us up, and so they would come to our door and they would like knock really loud. And like we would, you know, for a while we would like open the door and be like, hey guys, we're just like trying to go to bed and whatever. And like Alex was real over it. And then they sat outside of our door and they started like pounding on the floor, and they were like, Peter and Alex, get up. Peter and Alex, get up. I mean, I had it, and I will never forget, like Alex threw open that door after a while, and he was like, I mean, he was livid. Well, needless to say, the next day, they're all completely hungover. Nobody wants to do anything. The girls are all sitting on the couch in blankets and sweats. They don't want to go shopping. They don't want to go anywhere. Mind you, we're there Friday night, Saturday, coming back on Sunday. This is Saturday, right? They don't want to do anything. We had planned to like get dressed up and go out to dinner. They don't want to do that anymore. They just want somebody to run in town and get a bunch of food and bring it back and all this kind of stuff. And I think Alex and I did go into town. I was like real upset about it. I was like, I thought we were going to go in town and walk around. I thought we were going to go to dinner and all this kind of stuff. And Alex was like, I'm sorry, babe, do you want me to go into town with you? And I think I was like, yeah, I do. Like, and I think we walked around for just a little bit, and I was just kind of over the whole trip. So, yeah, I wasn't real down with all that. That's where I feel like I haven't been in a situation like that in a very long time, and I hadn't been in a situation like that before that in a very long time. But those are situations where, as a non-drinker, it's not even about being sober, it's as a non-drinker, I just don't feel, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel safe. And I also think it goes back a lot to my mom's drinking, of like, I never knew like where the night would end, so to speak. Like, I never knew when she would pass out or how the night would end or whatever, based on what was going on. And so I think like that kind of behavior always, like, it makes me nervous. I don't like it, you know? I don't like being around of like a lot of like really, really heavy drinking like that. People drinking and partying and having fun, like, I can handle that. That does not bother me. But like the belligerentness of it, like the belligerent drinking, I really can't stand this. Guys, what is so funny is every night I drive by Denny's and it is absolutely dead. Look, dead. Not one person at Denny's, okay? And the other day, I don't know what day it was, Saturday or Sunday, that I was like driving around in the morning. Do you guys remember when I was doing like a vlog early in the morning? It was packed. The entire parking lot was packed. I couldn't believe it. So breakfast I mean, I always knew, you know, Denny's was like a breakfast place, but and you know, they all apologized later. They all like felt really bad for everything that had happened, and especially the two guys that were like pounding on the door and all that kind of stuff. They felt like really, really bad about it. But I don't know. I was just like really bummed about that whole trip because I was like really excited to go to Gatlinburg, and when everybody was putting the trip together, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so fun, you know? This is like old days with me going down there with like my mom and my ex and our friends and stuff, and it just wasn't that trip at all, you know? And I think that's where like I've kind of learned over time with anything in life not to have expectations. We're going on this couples trip for Jason, our friend Melissa's, you know, his husband. Well, Jason's our friend too, obviously, but we're going on this couples trip for his birthday to Las Vegas, and in September. And Jason like, really, really wanted us to go. We don't ever go on the couples trips, and I can tell you the reason that we don't go on the couples trips is because of me, and it's a lot of it because based on that trip that we took to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, because that was my fear of what was going to happen, and that's what happened, and it became about all that. So Alex and I were not going to go to this couples trip for Jason's birthday. We never go on the couples trips. Melissa and Jason and ourselves are part of, like, a group of, like, 4 or 5 couples that are really good friends. And they take trips a lot together. And it either doesn't fit out for our timing, or we've just taken another trip. Like this one, we're going to literally have gotten back from going to our anniversary trip in Vegas and turning around and going back to Vegas, like, just right after that, not too long. And so that was our concern, first of all, because I was like, I mean, I told Alex, I said, I can make videos from anywhere, you know, but, you know, so we can go if you want to go. And he was like, okay. So he was like, let me check some things out. And I knew, and Jason was like, I really want you guys there. This is his, like, big birthday deal. And he wouldn't care if I told you this because he's the same age as me. So he just turned, he's a year older than me. So he turned 50. This is his big 50th birthday trip. And so, I mean, we were out at dinner and he said, you guys, I know that you don't do the couples trips and whatever, but, like, this would really mean a lot. Like, you're, like, the ones that we want there. And so I was like, Alex, I feel like we need to go. Like, I feel like we have to go for Jason and Melissa. They're such dear friends of ours. They've been so good to us, on and on and on. Okay. So we're going to go on this trip. I feel a little differently about this trip, whereas I do believe there will be a lot of drinking, because there's just some people going on this trip that are big drinkers, and like to party and things like that. And we're doing a couple things, like, one day I think we're laying out, and then one day they're doing, like, a cabana at some pool. Where's my lip gloss, or lip balm? There's enough people that are going that do not drink that, I'm not, like, super worried about it. Melissa doesn't drink. Another one of our friends doesn't drink. Another one of our friends' husbands doesn't drink. So there's enough people that are going, that don't drink, that I'll feel like I have people around me. So I'm kind of excited about this one, which is funny because I was, like, talking to Tanya about it the other day. This camera bag is, like, driving me nuts. I actually need to buy another one. I was telling Tanya the other day, and because there's like 9 couples going or something like that, and I don't know all of them. I know, like, 6, and then the other 3 are people that, like, we've, like, maybe met, like, once, but they're friends of Jason and Melissa's that live out of town. So they're flying in. And not everybody is coming for the duration, too. Like, we're flying in with Melissa and Jason, and we're flying out with Melissa and Jason. Because I told Alex, I said, because they were really like, we would love to have you guys there the whole time. And so I said, if we're going to do it, let's do it the duration. So we're going to do that. But not everybody is doing that. A lot of the people are, like, coming in for just, like, one night, for, like, because so it's real casual. There's, like, one night that's, like, a planned dinner, and then going out afterwards, and that's it. And then there's, like, hang out by the pool one day if you're still gonna be, I think that might be, like, the Sunday. If you're still in town, they're gonna do a cabana. Other than that, it's, like, you do you. Like, we're all staying together, and if we all lay out at the same time, like, that's cool and all that kind of stuff. But it's just real casual. So, I think that's nice too. And Melissa and I and a couple other friends have something planned that we're doing, like, one day that I'm real excited about. So there's just it'll be fun. I'm really excited about that trip, actually. And Tanya was like, yeah, I'm really surprised you're excited about that. I was like, well, I am, you know, like, and I'm also a different person than I was back in the day. Like, you know, I'm still very shy and whatever, but, like, I know enough of these people that these people are, like, close friends of ours today that we're going with, that I feel comfortable, being around them, and I know how they all act and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is this, is that, you know, I'm 49 years old. If we're out to dinner in Las Vegas, or, you know, if we're out somewhere and it starts to get a little rowdy or whatever, I just leave and go get an Uber or a cab, and I go back to the hotel room, or go gamble, you know what I mean, because y'all know I love to gamble, and I just call it a night. It's just not that deep, you know. I think back in the day, like, I always used to freak about that stuff. And so, you know, this is, I don't feel concerned about it. I'm like, I think it's going to be really a fun time. So there's that. What else? Oh, my foot. So it'll be fun to go to Vegas for two different trips. I'm trying to think if there is another couples trip that we've taken, but I don't. Well, when we went to, like, all of my sober friends, there was a couple couples that went. It was like Alex and I, and then another couple, and then Tanya and Eric. But those were the only 3 couples that went for that. I mean, there were other people that were there, but those were the only 3 couples, I feel like. Yeah. Why do I feel like we've been somewhere with, well, I was gonna say with Melissa and Jason before, but when we went to Ultra, and we just booked our Ultra trips for next year, which is real exciting, with Melissa and Jason not too long ago. We did that a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm excited about these trips, and yeah, so that's that. But what was I saying about the Gatlinburg thing? I don't remember, but yeah, I don't remember our very first time going to Gatlinburg. I don't remember that trip, like, at all, which is so bizarre to me. Kind of like remember Alex and I sitting there watching a movie. Like, I can kind of see us sitting there, and there was like one of the fake fireplaces they have, but I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I'll have to ask him about it and see what he remembers. So today, oh, but anyway, about that dream that I had about this guy, it was so bizarre. And it was like, the dream was of us, like, when we would have been in college or something. And you know what's interesting about that is he was actually in a college class of mine. I took like a screenwriting class, which was so bizarre that they offered that at my campus anyway. But he was really into, like, movies and all this kind of stuff. And he always wanted to be like a director for movies. And I took this class, and he was in there. And you know what's so weird about it is that we, like, hardly ever talked then too. Like, ever. Like, I think he said, like, one thing to me, and like, the whole time that I was in that class. Because I was still, like, nervous when I was, like, in early college. I still was, like, I didn't really know who I was or anything, you know. And, I mean, today, if I was, like, he was in my class, I'd be like, hey, how are you? It's good to see you. You know, like, I was not that back then. And I think I still had so much anger and animosity towards how people treated me in, you know, junior high and high school. I don't have that today. I just don't hold on to that today. It's like, whatever. So anyway, yeah, he was in a college class of mine, but it was like, we were that age, like, in my dream, and it just was a really bizarre dream. We were, like, talking about all kinds of just, like, the strangest stuff and whatever. And you know what's weird is, this is what's the weirdest thing to me about it is, I haven't thought about him. Well, when the last high school reunion that we had, which would have been our 25th, which would have been 2015, was when I went and I judged a pageant, this glitz pageant, that my friend Courtney asked me to go judge with her at the last minute because they needed a judge, and it was my birthday weekend. And I was like, okay, go judge this pageant or go to my high school reunion. And I was like, I did the 20 year, I'll do the 30 year, I'm going to this pageant to judge it, because y'all know I love pageants. So, and I had a fantastic time. I had the best time of my life that weekend. I'm so glad I did it. But my friend that went, because she and I both got tickets, she like was sending me pictures the whole weekend, and she was like, oh, so-and-so's asking about you. And that's really the only time that his name has ever come up with me and anybody else, because we didn't really have any like mutual friends in high school and stuff like that. And so my friend was like, so-and-so is asking, like, why you aren't here. And I'm like, that's weird. And she was like, yeah, he was just wondering how you're doing and all this kind of stuff. And, I don't know, I just thought that that was weird. So that was, like, the last time that I've even thought about him, honestly. And just to have this, like, weird dream where we're, like, I don't know. It always makes me wonder, like, is there something going on with that person? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're on my wavelength or something like that. Anyway, that was weird. I just kind of woke up and I was just kind of laying there and I was like, what was that dream about? Why was I dreaming about him? So, today I got up. Okay, well, let me tell you, last night, did I vlog before the pageant or after the pageant last night? I don't remember. Well, I feel like I would have had to have judged before. I would have had to have vlogged before the pageant. So after I vlogged last night, I watched National Entertainer of the Year, the 30th anniversary, 2021. I watched it last night. It was fantastic. It was like 3 hours and 42 minutes. I must have vlogged. Did I vlog early last night? I don't even remember really vlogging last night. Or did I vlog during the day? Maybe I vlogged early yesterday because I knew that I wanted to watch the pageant. I don't remember. I could pull in somewhere and look, I guess. But anyway, I'm wondering if I should turn around in case my battery dies. I think I'm going to turn around and start heading back to the other direction in case my battery dies. So I watched this pageant and sat on the front porch and watched it, just the whole thing. It was fantastic. I had such a good time. I was so excited watching it. Then I got done with it. It was about 3:30. And so maybe I vlogged right before that, like 11 to 12 or something like that. I really honestly don't remember. So I got done and was it like light out when I vlogged yesterday? It couldn't have been light out when I vlogged yesterday. It always freaks me out to pull out in the middle of Clover. I know I'm not in the middle of nowhere, but kind of, you know? No, it was the night, and I started in the driveway. Now I remember, because I started in the driveway reading comments or something. I read comments at some point. That's what it's called, addressing comments. Wasn't I in the driveway when I was reading comments? Now I feel like, no, I wasn't in the driveway when I was reading comments. I honestly do not remember whatsoever. So, what was I saying? So I watched the pageant, and then it was over at like 3:30. But I was like wide awake. Oh, I know what. Yesterday I slept from like 4 something to like 8 something. And then I got up and I must have vlogged right then. I must have vlogged like right after I woke up around that time sometime. Because I took that long nap yesterday and didn't do anything yesterday. I must have vlogged after that. I remember like getting the vlog up. Oh no, now I remember. Okay, I hadn't been uploading the vlog, so I had to go to the gas station to upload it, of which I also got gas and filled my tank. I'm looking right now at my tank because it's almost full. And then I came home. I started the vlog while I was uploading it, and then I went home, and okay, now I remember. So after that, I watched the pageant. After I vlogged, I watched the pageant on the front porch until like 3:30 in the morning. And then I was like, still wide awake. And so I was like, okay, well, I mean, I couldn't just really move around. Okay, this was the thing that was driving me crazy yesterday, was when I was watching this pageant. This is part of the reason why it's so hard to, like, watch TV downstairs, even on my, like, iPad if Alex is asleep. I know people don't understand it. This is really why we need to get the basement, refinished or redone or whatever, so we can have, like, a rec room down there, or, like, a finished basement, because I would walk inside, and every time I walked inside and turned on a light or went to the restroom or whatever, the dogs would go crazy. And so it was like, I couldn't even, like, if I moved around in the chair downstairs, like, Tucker started barking when I was on the front porch. He'd hear me, like, moving around down there, and he'd start barking. And I was like, I can't even watch this show or this pageant because the dogs are, they're very on high alert late at night, which I guess I should be thankful for, right? But anyway, so after that, I was like, well, I was kind of hungry, but I was like not wanting to sit down and eat anything just then. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go listen to a little bit of this audiobook. I'm listening to this audiobook called Flipped for Murder, which is part of the Cozy Store series or something by, yeah, I can't remember her name. May Davies or something May, or Maddie Day. Maddie Day is who it's by. And I'm really, really liking it. Like, it's a series that I would, like, continue to read. It's not as good to me as the Fortune 500 series, the Fortune Reading Misfortune series, but it's good. I really, really like it. So I listened to a little bit, but I was getting so tired that I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna eat something. So I, like, brought out the hummus, and I was heating up these fake chicken nuggets. First of all, let me just tell you, this brand that they're plant-based, man. It's like something in, it's not that Annie's, like, I know she makes stuff like that's vegetarian. It's not her. It's like Annie and Arnold's, or Arnold's and Annie's, or something like that. It's like two names. And, I had gotten the sausages, they were pretty good, but, like, they tasted weird to me. Like, when I liked them, and they tasted like they had maple syrup and stuff in them, but there was something, like, off about them. I don't know how to explain it. They just didn't taste like Morningstar. Like, Morningstar tastes like if you taste one of their veggie, like, sausage patties or sausage, like, links, they taste like sausage. Pretty close. This didn't taste like sausage. It tasted like maple something, and they were good, but they didn't taste like sausage. They were off. I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't figure out what it was. So, I got these chicken nuggets of theirs. Actually, last night, I think I ate Morningstar strips, the fake chicken strips. Today, I was eating, tonight, when we were sitting there, we were watching The Hills. I don't know why I watch that stupid show with Alex. It's so stupid. I didn't like The Hills when it was on originally, and I don't like The Hills now. I just feel like it's so boring. Anyway, he said to me at one point, he goes, I don't even know why I watched this. So we were watching The Hills, and I had, like, heated up some of these chicken. These chicken fingers or the chicken nuggets were the worst plant-based chicken nuggets I've ever had in my entire life. I thought I was gonna vomit eating them, but I was so hungry, and I was like, there's nothing else. Oh, I made 2 plant-based, Morningstar corn dogs too. Those are pretty good. They're not bad. I don't get them very often because I just don't, like, crave that very often, but so you can see I had such a healthy dinner. And then so anyway, I filmed a bunch of videos today. I'm, like, backtracking. I couldn't figure out anything to review today. I was like, I have no clue what to review today. And I was looking through all these Starbucks drinks trying to figure out something to review. And the thing was that I know this one Starbucks that they have all the ingredients for these drinks, but I don't typically go to that Starbucks. And I wanted to go to the Starbucks that I regularly go to. And I didn't know what ingredients they would have. So I was trying to like come up with I was trying to figure out a drink that I knew they do. So I did this green drink, which was super easy. It was just like black iced tea and 2 scoops of matcha. It was pretty good, actually. But, then I get off the phone, or I get off of recording the video, and I'm talking to Tanya as I'm like doing a loop driving back home, and I'm passing by Crumble Cookies, and I was like, I didn't even realize today was Monday and I was supposed to do my Crumble Cookie review. And I looked like such crap. I had on this like t-shirt and these like old sweatpants shorts, so I was like, I'm not doing the Crumble Cookie review today, I can do it tomorrow. So that was that. Then I got home and I filmed 2 drama videos, a Peterisms video, uploaded all of that, my vlog uploaded overnight. Oh, this is what so that was, anyway, and then Alex came home and we hung out for pretty much the rest of the night. So anyway, he went and did hot yoga after work tonight, so he went upstairs and took a shower and did all these treatments on his hair and his face and everything like that. He was doing that while I was finishing up my videos and stuff. So anyway, last night, I wanted to watch something while I was heating up some stuff to eat and have the hummus out. And I was like, I don't know what to watch. And I was like, oh, I don't know that I want to start like a Netflix series. Although I will tell you, Grace and Frankie is back out. I think it starts Wednesday. It stopped. I was talking about the fact that Grace and Frankie is back. It either comes out tomorrow or Wednesday. I think Alex said he said Wednesday to me, but I think it comes out. I think things are released on Tuesdays on Netflix, but I could be wrong. And Tanya told me the other day that it was coming out too. It is so hot in here. I have to have the heat on to defrost the windshield for some reason. And then it's like, 'cause it's nice outside, but anyway, so I didn't know what to watch last night, and my friend had told me to watch this true crime documentary series called Relentless on Discovery Plus. And I hadn't downloaded Discovery Plus yet because I was like, here we go, another streaming app, because you have to have like the app, you have to download the app. Well, it's $4.90, you get a 7-day free trial. You can start it for 7 days for free trial. And then after that, you get charged $4.99 a month or $6.99 a month ad-free. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get this. So I did $6.99 a month ad-free, and so I sat down and I started watching this docu-series, Relentless. Can we talk about this series for a second? Well, first of all, the other night when I was over at Tanya's, because she likes the true crime stuff too, she was reading me off all this true crime. Okay, Discovery Plus, literally, you guys, has documentary after documentary after series after series after documentary of like true crime stuff. There's so much true crime stuff on Discovery Plus, I could not even believe it. I started telling a story about a friend of mine, so and I said her name, and the one that recommended to me Discovery Plus. But anyway, I will tell you the one thing is, I started watching this documentary, Relentless, that my friend told me to watch, right? Okay. So, when Alex and I don't know if you guys even remember, well, I'm sure you do. On Valentine's, if you've watched me for a while, you'll remember this. On Valentine's Day, Alex got us a hotel room at this Ironworks hotel that's up the street from us. It's really cool, right? There's apartments in there, and we went and had dinner with Melissa and Jason at Ruth, Chris, and then we got ready and everything like that. Well, Alex had to work the next morning. Do you remember we had like a snowstorm? It was really cool. And so anyway, that night when Alex was asleep, I laid in bed and I could look right out over the street and I could see the snow and all that kind of stuff, right? So I watched Hell in the Heartland. And that was when we must have read Hell in the Heartland in February by Jax Miller. And so her 4-part series was on HBO Max, I think. I'm almost positive HBO Max. And so I watched it in the hotel room, and I don't know what it was, you guys. I don't know if like certain places or moods like are more fun for you than others, but there was something, and to this day I remember it, about being in that hotel room, laying in that bed, okay, being able to see the snowstorm and looking out over the street, that I was like so scared that night. And it was so fun, but I knew that like Alex was sleeping right next to me, right, and stuff. And I don't know, like I had such a good time, like with that whole watching that series at the hotel and stuff like that. It was so much fun. I watched like 2 episodes back to back. So I started watching this, and I was like, I should have saved this for Las Vegas. I don't know why I didn't save this for Las Vegas. But anyway, Tanya watched it, and she was like, it's okay. Like, I just really wasn't into it after the first episode. Well, so let me just tell you what this is about, first of all. It is about this girl, Christina Whitaker is her name, and she went missing from Hannibal, Missouri, home of Mark Twain, in 2000. I don't remember, so I'm not going to say. But it was like November 13th or something of 2009, maybe. I think it was 2009. And she had a 6-month-old baby that she was with a new guy. And then she was like taking care of her mom that night, or taking care of her grandma that day and night, while her mom and her stepdad were out of town. And so she wanted to go out to the bars. And so her boyfriend was like, I'll watch the baby, you go out to the bars. So she went out to the bars. She ended up getting like really intoxicated, and she got kicked out of 3 different bars. So she came back, or 2 different bars. And then she went to the 3rd bar, I think, and she was like, said to this woman that knew her that she'd gotten kicked out of these other bars, and then she ran out, and the woman never saw where she was, and she said that's the last time we ever saw her. She had known her all of her life, she said. That was the last time that anybody ever saw her. So now the mom has been trying to find her since that time. Okay, the mom and stepdad, they've been like relentless in their, pursuit of trying to find her, hunt her down, so to speak, wherever she is, and find any clues, any leads, or whatever. Okay, so then enter the filmmaker, whose name is also Christina. It's kind of a low budget, high budget film. I mean, it's not like the most high budget docu-series in the world, but it's not the worst docu-series I've ever seen either. In fact, the Eileen Wuornos ones are filmed very, very cheaply, and they just work somehow. And this one, for me, I don't know how to explain it, it just works. Like, it's really, her name is Christina Fugata or something like that. It just works somewhat. Like, I don't know what it is about her, and I don't necessarily love the filmmaker, but I have to say, for this docu-series, like, and her story, she's really good with it. Like, I'm really, like, her telling and her vulnerability. So what happened was, her friend, she used to live in Manhattan. Her friend, and now she lives in Los Angeles. When she was in New York, her friend had a brother that went missing. The police allowed the family to go look in the woods. When they did, his sister, who was this woman's friend, found, she's probably like in her early 30s when she's filming this video. She found her brother's like rib bone or something. And so this woman's like, I can't even imagine like why the police allowed them to go look, and then they found like his rib bone or whatever, and why she had to be holding onto her brother's rib bone. So at that time, she started like doing some research, and she found that like there's a commonality between missing families and them feeling like the police are negligent and they don't really do their job in going to like trying to advocate for them or find out more about what's going on with their missing loved ones, okay? And so then she goes to this organization, I can't remember what it's called. This woman had a son that went missing, and so she named this thing after him, and it's basically a support group, and it's kind of like educating people on like what to do when your child is missing, because it's all missing family members, right? Couples. And so this filmmaker she meets the mother of this Christina Whitaker there 9 months after Christina has gone missing. And she, like, really wants to help these families. And so she feels like this is her purpose. Like, her meeting Christina Whitaker's mother, I don't know why, for the life of me, I can't think of what her name is. I feel like it's Kim. I don't know why I can't think of what her mom's name is. But anyway, she feels like she's found her purpose. That she can, like, in some way help this one family get some kind of closure and bring her. She thinks there's enough information there to, like, bring her home, okay? And the background story is they think that these guys took her from Hannibal, Missouri to a basement in a house not far away, and then at some point sold her into trafficking, took her to Peoria, Illinois, where they got her hooked on drugs, and then prostituted her. That's this backstory, okay, of what's going on. So this mom gets all of these leads constantly, these crazy leads. Now, I'm only on the second episode. I'm halfway through the second episode. This mom constantly has people calling her, and they're like, oh yeah, I saw Christina at, you know, the bridge at 12 a.m. And then they all, like, get in a car, and they all, like, run over to this bridge, of course, where she's not, right? Okay. So, I'm not going to say a whole lot more about it, but let me just tell you, at the end of the first episode, the private investigator that the mother has hired tells the filmmaker about a text that the mother did not want the filmmaker. She said, don't tell the filmmaker that you think that it's about paying off a drug debt, okay? The mom, up to this point, has painted this picture that this girl never did a drug in her life, that she never got into trouble, blah, 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 whatever. Which shouldn't really matter, okay? It shouldn't really play into her being missing or anything like that if she was taken against her will, right? Like, that doesn't play into it, okay? But she really had no idea who this girl really was, and, so she's like, well, why didn't she want you to tell me that? And he's like, there's a lot of things that she's keeping from you. And so this filmmaker's like, so I'm being used? And he's like, but you're the only one being used. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, think about it. Like, she's not reporting this stuff to the police. She's not reporting this stuff to me. So okay, so there's like a text message that comes through the mom gets about a body in a basement or something. But, like, she doesn't even report it to the police or the private investigator. The only person she tells is, what do you call it? The filmmaker. And so all of a sudden she starts questioning all this stuff. Like, is the family in on it? Like, what's the deal? Like, do they know where she's at? Like, and so there's this is where I ended it, and then I was like, okay, I need to go to bed. She gets a tip from this woman that was supposedly in a psych unit with her, and although, like, there's no record of her ever being in a psych unit, and because they have now just assumed that she's living, like, in Peoria, Illinois, and that she isn't calling home because she's afraid or whatever, and it's just, the whole thing is very, like, it's very bizarre. They just keep on saying that, actually. This is weird. This is bizarre. This is weird. Like, the filmmaker and the private investigator. So she hires her own private investigator, the filmmaker, because she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm here, and my purpose is to bring this girl home and to get her safe. And she was like, and if that's what I have, if I have to hire my own private investigator with my own resources, that's what I'm going to do. And so the private investigator's like, we need to distance ourselves from the family because we don't know what their involvement is or what's going on with them, and we need to do this for her. We need to do this for Christina. And that's where I kind of ended it. Because what happened was, she meets with this girl, and they're, like, driving around, and this girl's, they meet in a hotel room, and this girl, like, tells her all these things about her, which she could have made up, or they could be real, you don't know. And then, afterwards, like, after they drop her off, like, a half an hour later, when the filmmaker's in her rental car, Bronco or whatever, and the mom is in her minivan or pickup truck, she's like, minivan or pickup truck, it was a pickup truck, and she's like, they get a call that this girl's like, I just saw her at the liquor store up the street. She was in a red Taurus. So they bolt up to this red Taurus, or they bolt up to this liquor store, right, to find her. And when they get up there, there's like leaving down the street is this red Taurus, and the filmmaker's like, there she is, and she goes after her, and she's calling the mom, and she's like, do you see the red Taurus? That has to be her in the red Taurus. And the mom's like, oh yeah, and then the mom's driving real slow, and the filmmaker's going crazy. She's behind her. She's like, what is she doing? Why is she not going after her? What is she doing? And the mom all of a sudden just turns into the CVS, and she calls her and she goes, what are you doing? And she goes, well, I need to figure out, I need to go into CVS to get something, and then we can come back out and we can basically like figure out what we're going to do next, what our agenda is. And the filmmaker's like, I thought our agenda was to go after this red Taurus to find her. Like, what are you you're not even wanting to catch her. And that's when she's really like, okay, there's something going on here that I don't know about. And that's where I stopped watching it. And that's just 1.5 episodes out of 6. You guys, I'm telling you, it is so interesting. I'm blown away by it. Oh, and then found out that the mom had been on, you know, the Steve guy show that used to be like Jerry Springer's assistant, and then, or whatever guy in the audience, what do you call it? Not a doorman, but you know the guy at the door, the bouncer kind of guy, Steve, and then he had his own show, that guy. Well, they were on that Steve show, and the mom took a lie detector test, or the boyfriend took a lie detector test, and it came out that he was involved in some way, and the mom went crazy. But then the next week, she was calling him like nothing was going on. You guys, it's insanity. It's an absolute insanity. I told Tanya, I said, I can't believe that you don't like this documentary, and she just laughed. I go, what? She's like, well, there's just like so many good things out there. I'm like, okay. Like, this is really good. Like, I haven't been this into something in a long time. So anyway, if you're looking for a new true crime docu-series, you can watch it on Discovery Plus, which you can download in the App Store. And I will tell you that you can get it for 1 week free. And, what is that noise? Oh. What are they doing? This guy's like looking at me. Oh, they're spraying out here for something. But you can get it for 1 week free for $4.99. Oh, no, 1 week free, and then you have to pay for it. $4.99 with ads, or $6.99 with no ads. And I would highly recommend it. It's not just true crime. There's all kinds of stuff over there. So go check it out. Funny, I was talking to Dustin Daly tonight because I wanted to see if he's going to be in Vegas, because they live in Vegas at the same time that we are. And so he was like, yeah, we should be here. So, because we're thinking about like meeting up and going out to dinner, or maybe doing some gambling or something. And so we were talking, and I said, girl, I said, because you know he's real into the true crime now and stuff, and the missing persons. Well, he's been into that ever since I first talked to him, but he's just now starting to do the videos on YouTube, which I'm real excited for him for doing that. His videos are well done, and he like can listen to a story and like know everything about it right away. So anyway, I just don't have the patience to ever do that. I love to watch the true crime videos and all that kind of stuff. I would do it like how Bailey Sarian does it if I was a makeup artist, which I'm not. So if I had like a craft to do on the side, which I don't, then I would do something like that, like Bailey Sarian. But I love her videos. But he's doing like kind of obscure cases that are missing people and stuff like that, and so I was telling him about this, and I said, girl, do you have Discovery Plus? And he was like, yes, girl. He was like, I've had it for a long time. I go, why am I new to everything? I'm always like the last one to find out about stuff. Whatever. Whatever. So I'm gonna watch that tonight when I go home. Relentless. I'm excited about it. I can't believe this battery. The other battery died real soon, and then this one is going on forever. I'm trying to, like, in my head, figure out. I'm probably at, like, the 53 minute mark, somewhere around there. I'll vlog for a little bit longer. Talking about that case, I just went on and on and on and on and on. I couldn't stop. You know, we were supposed to have my 30-year high school reunion a year ago, summer, like in June of 2020. And I was going to go, and, or maybe it was August of 2020 they were going to have it. But they, of course, canceled it because, you know, COVID and all that. And then this year, I think kind of a similar situation, but also they just couldn't organize it in time to get the reunion together, I guess. And my friend, I rarely talk to my friend from high school, but she and I were talking the other day, and I was texting her about some stuff. She's like, when are we having a high school reunion? And I was like, good question, I don't know. People always ask me that. They're like, are you going to go to your next high school reunion? Like, people on my, like, whenever I do, like, a Q&A on YouTube, I always get that question by a few people. I always kind of wonder if it's, like, people that I went to high school with that ask that question, but I don't think that anybody that I went to high school with watches my videos, so. Every once in a while, I'll get, like, a message from somebody that'll be like, oh, my daughter watches YouTube, and, you know, I didn't know that this is what you did, and, you know, could you get Jenna Marbles to give them a shout out for their birthday? And I'm like, yeah, because I know Jenna Marbles like that. Like, what? Like, I don't, it's just, anyway. So, but they'll ask me, like, funny stuff like that, you know? Anyway, but I always get a couple questions every time I do a Q&A on, are you going to go to your next high school reunion? And the answer to that is, oh, unless I'm out of town, a resounding yes. But, like, Alex and I even, was it last year? Well, before COVID happened and we were, like, planning trips for that year, I told him, I said, I want to be here when the reunion happens. Like, it's important for me to go to that. My 20-year reunion was about me proving something. And I thought that I was proving to everybody else that they hadn't beat me. And what I know now was that I realized, I know now that the point of me going to my reunion was to tell myself, you're strong. You're stronger, and you always have been stronger than you ever gave yourself credit and than you thought you were, like Melody Beatty says. I never knew how strong I was. And walking into that high school reunion, I left there knowing you've always been pretty strong and resilient. You know, you've been a strong person through all of this. But I also think that it was about coming face to face with a lot of my bullies and allowing them the opportunity to say some things to me, which I did, and me say some things to them back, and having good conversations, and had a ball, you know. I want an opportunity to walk into a high school reunion as a classmate. That's what I want to do. I want to go to a high school reunion as I'm just a classmate like everybody else of the year of 1990, Carmel Greyhounds, and, you know, it's been 30 years. That's what I want. I want to be able to reminisce with people and talk to people that I haven't seen in 30 years, or some of them, you know, like, that I haven't talked to in, like, 40 years, because we talked in junior high, but not since then. People change over time. I want that, you know? And, I'll probably always go to all of my high school reunions as much as I can, but you know the weird thing about it is, that, like, the other day this occurred to me. I'm like, it was your 30-year high school reunion. Like, time's going fast, you know? What's your next big one? 40? You know, I'll be almost 60 at that time. And yet what's so weird about it is that there's a part of me inside that feels like I could close my eyes and it's just been like, just a blink of time, you know? Like, it really does. I know that sounds crazy and people are probably like, there's no truth to that, but it really is the truth. It's like, there are some days, I just don't feel that old. I just don't, you know? I was telling Tanya that, like, I saw these, like, lines around my eyes the other day when I was going over to pick her up. I think that was last week for our meeting, and I saw these lines around my eyes, you know, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I've had wrinkles on my face forever. I've had this, like, huge wrinkle here forever. I mean, the thing was, it didn't freak me out because, like, I care about wrinkles on my skin. I really just don't. It's really crazy because I always thought that I would be the person that did care about wrinkles on the skin. My husband really cares about wrinkles on the skin. I mean, he's constantly, you know, doing all this and Botox and all that kind of stuff, and he should do what he wants to do, but that's not me. I don't care about all that. But what it was like the first time in a long time. I mean, the white hair and the white beard has been a shocker for me. You know, I had to really get used to that at first. It was hard for me to look in the mirror and see Peter 20 years older than I thought I looked, you know, before that I had no beard and I had brown hair. And then all of a sudden I'm like aged forward. And then to see the lines the other day, I don't know, it just was weird for me. It wasn't like I wanted to go and get treatments to have the lines taken away. That wasn't the response that I had. The response was like, time's going a lot faster than you think it is. And Tanya and I were talking about that in the pool. It's like, maybe that's when it was, when I picked her up and took her to the pool that night. Because it's like, I just don't. Time's going fast, you know, I want to enjoy all the moments. It's like Alex and I were laying in bed with the dogs tonight, you know, just kind of talking to them and stuff, and they were being so sweet, and Boo Radley was like falling asleep on the pillow, his eyes, you know, and I always tell Boo Radley the story. I'm like, now Boo Radley, when we first got you, you used to like to hide under the bed. We had this bed curtain, you know, or bed, whatever that's called, curtain, I think. And Boo Radley would hide underneath it. And then we would be like, where's Boo Radley? Where's Boo? And he would like push his nose, he would peek his nose out, but all you'd see is like from here, like you could see his little nose and mouth, and you couldn't see his eyes because he wouldn't put his whole head out. And then he'd pull it back, and then we'd say, where's that Boo Radley? Where's that crazy Boo Radley? Where did he go? And he'd stick his nose out again, and he'd stick his head out. And then we'd say, all right, good night, Boo Radley. And then we would like get in bed and turn off the lights, and he would come out and start crying because he wanted to come into bed with us. And it was so sweet because tonight he like stood up on the edge of the bed. He can't jump on the bed anymore. We have to pick him up. And I'm worried that Tucker's getting to the point where he can't jump on the bed anymore either. But Tanya's Tic Tacs are still sitting over there. Alex said something about him the other day. He was like, Coca-Cola Tic Tacs, whose are those? I said, they're Tanya's. But anyway, you know, the dogs are getting older. They're going to be 12. They're not my little guys anymore. Although I still see them that way, you know. I still see them as my little puppy dogs. Because they act that way and they look real sweet in their little faces. And they look like little puppy dogs, but they're not. You know. I was talking to my neighbor, Laura, today, and we were just talking about, I don't even know what we were talking about, but it was like, so weird. I was just like looking at her and I was like, so much time has gone by since she first moved in here. Like, it's crazy. To think of, like, when she first moved in there. It's been a long time. Anyway, I'm gonna go home and watch this Relentless show now. I'm very excited about it. So I'm gonna get off here now. I didn't even need to go home and get another battery. I made it all the way through. But I'm gonna get off here now, and I am going to go back. I can't speak. I can't speak. I just stumbling over my words. I'm gonna go home now, and I'm gonna go watch Relentless on Discovery Plus. And I'm actually, last night I sat inside in the chair, but tonight I'm gonna sit outside, I think, because I don't want to wake up the dogs every 5 minutes. So I'm gonna be real scared sitting out there tonight. Real scared. I brought my last plant. I have 2 ferns out on the back patio, but I brought my last really, like, tropical nice plant out to the front porch. Our front porch is now, like, overflowing with plants because for some reason they get super dry out back. They're out in the sun, I think, all day long, and it just is not doing well. And on the front porch, they're doing really great. So I was like, I'm putting it on the front porch. I probably only got like a month left anyway with these plants. I got real sad about that today. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to be getting my mom's. What am I supposed to do with my summer plants? What do you guys do with your summer plants in the fall? Do you throw them out? What do you do? They're summer plants. I mean, they're not like that you keep them inside the house. I guess I could, but I don't know what to do with them. Anyway, let me know what you do with them. So, all right, I'm gonna get off here now. I love you guys. I hope that you are having a, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. That should count for something. No. Anyway, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you guys are having a, maybe I could keep the plants inside. We'll see. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday, and do something kind, nice, and good for yourself today. Put some kindness and love, compassion, understanding, forgiveness out there into the world. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Oh, and for anybody that wants to hear it, here you go. Here's this little light of mine. One more, I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!